This video addresses completion of the client inactivation status change document. Please view separate videos regarding the status change documents for client reactivation, transfers, post-assessment, client discharge, and special cases. Let's briefly talk about client inactivation and reactivation under the new BHR regulations that went into effect on July 1st, 2018. Under the new regulations, clients can be made inactive for a period of up to 3 years, and it's no longer necessary to terminate them from TCS services if they elect to discontinue or suspend services, or if they have met their goals for counseling and there is no clinical justification for continuing services. Special case exists where the client passes away during active treatment and they are then terminated from services. This will be addressed in a separate video for use of the client termination status change. The advantage of the inactivation process is that if the client decides to re-engage in services, they can be reactivated without having to repeat the intake process. And there are some exceptions to that rule, but for the most part, that is the case. The exceptions are discussed in the client reactivation status change video. So let's take a look at what's involved in making a client inactive. Log in to DocTracker and select the appropriate client from the client drop-down list. Select the Add New icon for the status change/risk assessment. And then select Status Change icon from the pop-up box for the document that you wish to add. Next, you'll select the Transfer Inactivation Discharge tab. And then you'll complete the change effective date at the top of the tab. This is the effective date of the client's inactivation. Click the checkbox for Move to Inactive Status and complete the appropriate selection for why the client is being made inactive. So either goals have been reached, disinterested in continuing, client moved, etc. The inactive date shown here will automatically populate with duplicating the change effective date that was entered at the top of the document. And finally, you'll complete a brief narrative giving the information requested for the narrative box. Spell check and then validate the note. At this point, the client is moved to inactive status and you need to do nothing further at this point. Client will be made inactive in your DocTracker system and you'll no longer show in your active client list. You may still view the client's DocTracker record by accessing the inactive client list as follows. Log into DocTracker and select the inactive option. Click the down arrow next to select a client and you'll see the inactive client list, and then select the name of the inactive client whose record you wish to view. Client's record will be displayed, however, it is for viewing only and no new documents can be added with the following exceptions. You can add a status change form to reactivate the client or a supplemental note to add relevant information about the inactive client. So that would be in these two areas here shown. Otherwise, You can see that no new documents can be added in terms of these other clinical documents. Please view the separate video which addresses the client reactivation status change to determine how you need to go about that procedure. So this concludes the presentation on the client inactivation status change document.